Hello, hello, and welcome to the Shop of Wonders, where today we'll be talking with someone we all have seen the works of. One of her most recent designs being a torture test vase. So as her own website says, let us welcome a nerd, artist, and multimedia creator, Geeky Faye.
Hi, hello. It's so good to be here. I'm so glad that we finally able to find a time that works for us on opposite sides of the planet.
So, as I mentioned in the intro, one of your most recent designs I'm seeing going around, you actually had me print a test couple of, is your spiral vase. So what brought that about?
You know what? It genuinely was an idea that just popped into my head. I had one of those art moments where I was kind of like, you know what would be cool? A kind of twisty, spirally vase thing that obviously you can't actually put water in,
right?
Because
unless you put a glass in it.
Yeah, but generally speaking, a vase that can't actually be used like a normal vase. The idea just popped in my head. I constantly am kind of sitting with thoughts and ideas. My brain is always kind of like very active in the what is a thing I could make kind of mode. This popped in my head one night, and I kind of had this, okay, I have the idea. How would I make it? And I actually did a whole piece about it on my Patreon, but I was trained in not CAD software. I was trained in polygonal modeling. And so my instinct is still to go to 3D Studio Max. That's the software I kind of used first.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I think I know how I would make this in 3D Studio Max. So honestly, I threw it together in about like 30 minutes or so. And I realized very quickly that this wouldn't work for printing. All these things that I kind of already know, slightly less useful for 3D printing. So I've been teaching myself Fusion 360 because it's a great piece of software. It's so useful for 3D printing. And I thought, okay, I can make this in Fusion. If I can make it in one software, I can make it in another software. It took a little bit longer.
Yep.
I had to kind of work through the problem effectively in real time in Fusion before I found a solution that actually gave my vision reality. But I got there. I got there eventually. And as you will know, the first iteration, it looked cool, but it didn't print well.
Actually, go ahead and I'm going to go get my first iteration.
Okay. I was going to say, I've actually got one as well. I probably should have grabbed it beforehand. Yeah, no, in fact, actually, apologies to everyone. Hold on a second.
No problem. As I mentioned before, these streams are kind of ad hoc, so it's okay.
Right. So I managed to get about this far before it started to get stuck on the nozzle, and it was getting stuck on the nozzle because it's kind of accidentally flexible. I have no idea how I managed that. I genuinely do not. It's a mystery, but it is. Yep, that's as far as you got.
Yep.
It was honestly, like, I was surprised I got this far, especially on the Finder. Like, the Finder of all things actually got this far. But again, it reached this point, and I could literally see it pulling pieces as it was going. I was like, all right, let's quit this.
Yeah. But it was trying to fuse the pieces together.
Yeah. So, first design, not quite there, but I was able to kind of go back in and tweak it and come up with this slightly different, but mostly the same design with this kind of stabilizing ring, kind of keeping things from moving, but also slightly wider pieces.
Well, and another change is the bottom.
Yes.
Because the original did not have your name on it.
Nah.
Which is hard to see.
Yeah, no, this one does not either. You can see that this one is see, that's I'm learning some tricks. I definitely think I spent some good time on that logo. I made that myself. I pretty much do everything myself. I guess that's kind of part of my thing is I do a lot of things. I do a little bit of everything. I'm a generalist. I've always been a generalist. In fact, when you try to make me do the same thing over and over, I get bored real quick. And don't want to do it anymore.
As I'm sure you've seen on my Twitter, I'm pretty much the same way. I'm all over the place.
I love that. Like I don't know. I respect people who are incredibly good at one thing. I really do. I don't know how they do it, but for me, yeah, I'm like, but there's this other cool thing, and I want to try that. So when other people are like that, I'm like, yes, you understand me.
So I am a I like to see people's surroundings, and I notice you have a dress form behind you.
Yeah. Wait, that way.
Yep.
Which way?
So I take it you do sewing as well?
I do. In fact, I was gonna say this you can't see, but down here, the sewing machine is actually down below the desk, because I'm a cosplayer. I have been doing cosplay for almost 20 years. Almost 20 years. I started when I was like a teenager, and I had to try it. I had to dress up as my favorite characters, and it's basically never stopped being something I enjoy doing. And whilst I don't necessarily make everything from scratch all the time,
right,
it is my favorite thing. Like I feel the most joy and appreciation for a costume when it's something I've pretty much made myself.
Is that what brought you into 3D printing?
No, actually, honestly, I think it's just being a nerd and having nerd friends that brought me into 3D printing, because a friend of mine, actually, now that I think about it, introduced me to 3D printing with a Prusa Mark II.
Oh,
because that's what she had. She had a Prusa Mark II, and she was like, "Oh, I've got this thing. I think you might like it and think it's cool." And I was like, "What is this witchcraft? This is amazing!" So yeah, so it was all downhill from there. Like once I was aware that it existed, it was one of those, okay, I need to investigate this. I need to look into this. I need to understand this. And then I need to own this. I need to have this and be able to do it myself. And I figured that since I already had 3D design skills in my toolbox,
right,
that opened up a great deal of opportunity with 3D printing that admittedly a lot of people who are avid 3D printers don't even have and don't need. You don't need to be a 3D designer to be a 3D printer, which is also, I think, quite awesome. And one of the things about the 3D printing community that kind of thrills me a bit is that you don't have to be an artist to be a printer.
And you don't have to be necessarily good at anything.
No, you can just enjoy it. You can just have fun and enjoy yourself. And it's not. I just noticed where the chat stream is. Hi everyone. Sorry, I totally wasn't seeing anything because I had the wrong thing open.
Yeah, I apologize. I also should have warned you to pop open chat from the actual YouTube video. Because
see it.
Because StreamYard's a little slow on that. But we do have a question.
Yes, I just saw that. First of all, David Shorey is amazing and absolutely an icon and an idol of mine personally. So just saying, like, I heart David Shorey. I haven't actually done the printing on fabric yet, but it is going to happen. Like, guaranteed going to happen. I like I was talking before about how I constantly have kind of ideas running in my head all the time, which is admittedly exhausting sometimes. I always have cosplay costumes kind of in a list in my head. I have ones that are long-term goals, and I have ones that are slightly more realistic. I will stay straight up, just so y'all can look forward to it occurring some point in the future. Samus Aran is my dream cosplay. Like full armor Samus, one day it will happen. But that's a long-term goal. Slightly more short-term goals. I actually have been planning kind of quietly to do Kotera from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Because I love Legend of Zelda. Y'all have probably seen, I have Zelda shirts. I have like, let's see if I can reach it. Oh God, I have just this hanging out on my desk just to keep me company.
Nice.
You know, like, I love Legend of Zelda, and there is something just so incredibly awesome and magical about a giant fairy lady that comes out and basically grants you wishes and upgrades your armor. So I thought instead of going like the kind of classic dressing up as Zelda,
the main character or whatever, yeah,
that I would do Kotera, who's the first fairy that you encounter. There's 4 of them. Sorry if that's a spoiler for anyone.
It actually is for me. I admit I have not played anything. I have not actually played Ocarina of Time, I think it's called, and on.
Ocarina of Time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the old school.
Don't worry, I'm definitely. I've been. This is a whole other topic I can go on about video games.
I just restarted the first one on my RetroPie build.
Ooh, that's good. I admittedly was recently replaying a video game that vexed me as a small child. Phantasy Star 2, actually.
Yes.
Is the game. Because I played it when I was like 7, and needless to say, could not defeat it because it's incredibly difficult. And they re-released a whole bunch of Sega Genesis. I can say Genesis. I'm talking to a lot of Americans. Mega Drive for the Brits. Mega Drive for the Brits. A whole bunch of Sega Genesis games for PS4, and it had Phantasy Star 2 on it. So I was like, I think I owe it to my child self to replay this game and actually beat it. I haven't beaten it yet. It turns out it's actually very hard even when you're an adult. Anyway, though, Zelda, yes. So Kotera has a very kind of ephemeral outfit, and it's perfect for some experimental 3D printing cosplay applications. So I definitely am going to be doing some 3D printing on fabric. I'm going to be 3D printing with flexibles. I actually have it in mind to give a try to Color Fab's Vario Shore TPU, which has foaming technology, and some other cosplayers have already done some really, really nice tests with this, where basically you get a flexible result that is sandable, paintable, and has virtually no layer lines. So it's very win-win. So Color Fab,
because of the expansion.
Yeah, because it just expands. I believe it expands to 1.4 times its size. So it kind of fills in the layer lines. But the fact that it's sandable and paintable with flexible paint is highly valuable, highly valuable. So I have every intention of basically trying to combine some 3D printing on fabric as well as some flexible 3D printing for some of because there's some jewelry and some various things that she has on her. And I think between regular TPU, because I've already got some Ninja Flex kind of just hanging out and waiting for me to do some cosplay stuff with. But I want to get the Color Fab Vario Shore TPU because the possibilities seem.
Do you by chance have a link to it?
I don't. But 3D Jake sells it. That's where I will be purchasing it from because I'm in the UK and I don't have access to all of the same sites. So we pretty much here in the UK, 3D Filaprint and 3D Jake are kind of where I get all of my filament from because they have reasonable shipping. There's some cool European providers of filament, and every time I go to purchase from them, the shipping is basically the cost of a roll of filament. So
or more.
And so I usually end up kind of
yep
and not getting it. I'm unfortunately not made of money. So
I'm actually waiting for 3D Viking has sent me a sticker. It's on its way. And when I get it, I'm actually going to mail him back some samples from American filament makers so he can try them out.
There's so many cool filaments that I see on like Joel's channel and other 3D, like Make Anything usually shows off some really cool stuff too. And I'm always like, but I want, but it's far away and expensive shipping. So.
I admit I have a filament addiction. I've got 8 54-quart totes full of filament over here, and I got nothing but filament underneath these 2 tables.
See, I relate to that as somebody who is a color geek. Like I've referred to myself as a color geek pretty much my whole life. I have to have every color of something. Like it's just like you can kind of see, oh God, I can't go in the right direction. Paints, you can see paints behind me. I've got my collection of Copic markers is under the desk. Like and same. I want to have every color filament. Unfortunately, I do not have the space to own every color of filament. I want it.
Space, money, and time. Those are the things that always get us.
This is true. But I think I have a pretty decent collection of filament going. I've got a nice shelf. I was gonna say maybe I can. Yeah,
there it is. Hang on.
Shelf.
Here, and there we go.
You can see the start of it. It keeps going. I was gonna say I will absolutely knock my computer all over if I keep going, but it's not bad. It's not bad for 2 years of 3D printing. That's how long I've been doing it.
Okay, so a year longer than me. So, and I see you finally got your Prusa back, and it's behaving nicely again.
Oh, I am genuinely afraid to jinx it. I was having so much problems, and it sucks because I feel a little bit like I'm the one person who struggled with their Prusa, because the reason why I got it in the first place is because so many people were like, yes, this is the printer to get. This is the Cadillac of 3D printers. Like, you will not regret it. And I had problems. I had a lot of problems. So much problem, because I can English. So many problems, in fact, that it ended up having to go back to the Czech Republic to get serviced by them. So, I mean, the good news is I'm not crazy and that the problem was significant, but it's back. Honestly, it works so well now. I'm beginning to think that mine was never functioning completely 100% at any point that I've had it.
This is why I say it's currently behaving, because then it could start misbehaving again in the future.
God, I hope not. It is honestly, it's the quality of the prints that are coming off my print bed right now are just, they make me so happy.
Yeah, actually,
I'm so thrilled by it.
So one of my other favorite prints of yours right now is that Bullet Billy that you did.
Yeah, that surprised me because that came off the Finder.
Mm-hmm.
And it is genuinely the last thing to have come off the Finder. Because after that, it stopped working again. It started clogging and under extruding again. And then I flipped the table and sold it. So it's gone now. That was the last Bullet Bill. The last
so
Finder.
You don't even own it anymore.
Nope. I found a very kind human to come and take it off my hands, who feels a lot more confident with completely taking a printer apart than I do. The Finder is not the easiest to kind of pull apart. Like, honestly, the Prusa is much easier to service. The Finder I found very difficult to service. And so I kind of reached my last straw. Honestly, it was a wonderful first printer. It was a great printer that when I knew nothing, absolutely nothing, I was able to take this and I was able to make prints with it, and it didn't take a lot of work and they looked pretty good, and I'm happy with that. And now that I know more and I want to have a little bit finer control of my machine and what I'm doing with it, the Finder no longer suited my needs. So I'm actually I'm in the market. I have the spot to fit now. I have a place to fit a printer.
So now you need to get a large format printer so you can do full size helmets.
Yeah. Now that is the thing, is that now that the Prusa's home and I'm back up to that like 221, 210 millimeter build size, which is decent. It's all right, but it's not the biggest. And because I do the cosplay, especially, and I also just often have a desire to make things big. I feel like I want something bigger. I want something with that kind of 300 and up, but probably not anything too big because again, I don't live in a massive flat. But yeah, the 300 to 400 range would be, very much like right there, I think. And so I have been pulling my hair out a little bit, kind of looking at the options and weighing up the pros and cons and asking people about their experiences, because this is the thing, is that
and how much tinkering you want to do.
Yes.
Because that is one of the issues I have found with the larger printers, is larger printers means larger tinkering.
And I'm okay with some tinkering. I feel a lot more comfortable with tinkering than I used to. Tinkering scared the absolute shit out of me for a good while. I had to remember that I could swear.
So,
I was like,
yes. And actually, we're at the moment where I need to say, this stream is not made for kids, but being a daytime stream, we will try to edit ourselves a little bit. But if you're a parent, parental guidance is definitely suggested.
I don't swear a ton, I promise.
I do.
Occasional swearing slips out. But yeah, tinkering doesn't completely terrify me anymore. I mean, I've changed out the whole hot end on the Prusa. So I reckon that if I can do that, I can do most things, many things.
Yeah, the worst that'll happen is you set your printer on fire for a little bit, as Justin999 found out.
See, that does worry me.
But that was his own fault. He put a nick in the bed and he was using a flexible bed.
Oh God, yeah, don't. Setting things on fire. I feel like that's definitely a thing you want to try to avoid. But so far so good. I actually had a whole interaction with the British Fire Department, which was very, very hilarious. Well, they're actually really good here. They come and do inspections every once in a while just to make sure that all your fire alarms are working and that everything is safe. And they saw my office, my workspace, and they were like, do you have a fire alarm in here? And I was like, no, and I should probably have one. And they looked at the printers and they were like, what are these? And I was like, they get hot. And they're like, yes, let's put a fire alarm in here. So needless to say, I am now safe-ish, more safe than I was before. And it's all thanks to the British Fire Department. Thank you, British Fire Department.
They would shut me down in a heartbeat here. So, I do have another person in the green room because she can bring another perspective and maybe give you some advice on large format printers.
Oh,
so here is Devin.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Devin.
Hey. How's it going?
It's not too bad. It's actually really gross and rainy out today. It's very standard British weather.
Fair enough. It's gross and hot here in Texas.
Oh, God. I used to live in Texas, so I can relate.
I mean, it's 12:30 and it's 105 with 95% humidity. So, standard Texas July.
Oh, gosh. You must be South Texas, too.
No, I am Central.
Oh, God.
Where'd you used to live?
Houston.
Okay, so I'm in Waco right now.
Oh.
So yeah, just
I don't miss that.
And there's a hurricane aimed right at Houston right now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I should probably call my family.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all okay?
What more does 2020 need? How about a hurricane in one of the worst states in the country with COVID?
Yeah.
No, that'll be totally fine. No.
And then let's point it directly at one of the worst parts in one of the worst states, because why not?
So,
yes. In case anyone is wondering, I am American. I am not British. I have lived in the UK for 10 years, but I still sound like this. I think this is it for me. There is no British accent in my future. Sorry.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to pull Devin in is because I know you said cosplay, and some of the things that you want to cosplay may require a little bit of not necessarily robotics, but machining. And that's what Devin does.
Intrigue.
So,
Tell me more.
So, when I'm not tweeting the randomest things on Twitter, I actually coach 5 competitive robotics teams. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And for those wondering, she's petting her cat named Pixel right now.
Oh. Oh. I admittedly, my cat came in very briefly earlier and then immediately was like, nope, I ain't having any of this. Hello.
So, Pixel is a routine guest whenever people let me on their streams. And the joke is it's not a real stream until you see a cat butt, because someone likes to moon my camera.
Yeah, no, that's legit. I'm digging that very active tail dance.
Yeah.
Oh, Pixel, you're so good.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Oh. Yep. He's like, all right, this is where I'm gonna stay now.
So anyways, we were talking about robotics a little bit.
Yes.
So yeah, I teach competitive robotics as young as 5th grade, and then I go all the way to high school.
That's so cool. That's amazing.
So, yeah, I'm 24. Yeah, 24.
Oh, you're a baby too.
And wait, are you younger than me?
No, I'm way older than you.
Okay, so I'm 24, and I've been doing competitive robotics since I was 11. So literally, I've been doing this shit since I was for half my life.
Oh my god, this is amazing. I'm so incredibly impressed right now. So impressed.
Viking, shut up! I got excited that somebody might be younger than me, and I wouldn't be the baby of the stream.
Honestly, when I meet people that are doing amazing things at 23, 24, my mind is always blown, because when I was 23, I was definitely not doing super cool things. I was basically kind of like, admittedly, I was trying to figure out how to work in the video games industry. And with
hence the 3D Max.
Hence the 3D Max, yeah, with marginal levels of success. So what you're doing is, I think, amazing. And the age thing is more of an I'm impressed, not a how dare you or anything like that.
Oh yeah, no. My favorite thing is, because I work with students, I routinely have to do like parent meetings before like big tournaments, and they'll come in. If my assistant coach isn't with me, they're like, okay, where's the teacher or where's the coach? And it's like, hi, I'm right here. And because I have like a baby face, I almost every single time I have a parent meeting, are you old enough to be the head coach? And I was like, yes, I promise I know what I'm doing.
Like,
I've actually had parents not believe me that I was an adult.
Yep.
Oh god.
Pixel, you were not going to be able to lay on 2 keyboards at one time.
Oh.
Not today.
No.
So yeah, I since I knew you were into cosplay and you're trying to get to the point of being able to tinker more, I thought, how could you incorporate learning to tinker more on something that won't cost you an arm and a leg and can still be involved with your cosplay?
Yeah. So not costing an arm and a leg is definitely ideal. Definitely a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I recently mocked up a project and I was like, this is going to be so cool. And then I mocked up all the parts and it was going to be like $200.
You're like,
maybe it's not something I do by next weekend. This is something I do by Christmas.
Longer term project. Absolutely. I got as a birthday gift, actually last year. I'm a horrible human. One of the Bear Conductive kits.
Yeah.
So that I could do it's kind of gentle mechanics with the conductive paint, so that you can have touch control, which admittedly, again, good for cosplay. Being able to just touch a part on your prop and have it light up or make a sound is useful.
And having very little weight because you're not using actual wire.
So I definitely want to do the light up of the stuff.
Have you ever used conductive thread before?
No.
Oh wait, conductive thread. I don't know if you can get it in the UK. If not, I'll send it to you.
Oh,
It's exactly what it sounds like,
that's
but
so
it's
cool.
absolutely amazing.
And you can put it in a sewing machine and sew with it.
I don't know about a sewing machine. I'd have to ask my mom.
Okay.
But I've hand sewed it before and
Very
used it
neat.
for robotics costumes or for banners.
That's very like it obviously would depend on the flexibility of the thread and as far as whether or not it would work as a sewing machine, but it is very like I'm very intrigued by that. Yeah, to be able to have effectively your wiring just kind of sewn right into your fabric again in a lightweight, not weighing you down kind of way. That is pretty awesome. That is very awesome. I think probably in a very kind of almost boring fashion, I get the impression that the first bit of wiring and tinkering in a cosplay I'll probably end up doing is probably the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Because I love the Master Sword so much.
Who
and I really want to make
the Master Sword?
But you got to make it light up.
Yes.
Like,
well, the one
is it even a Master Sword if it doesn't light up?
The one I'm working on now, it does not light up. But my friend who has been asking me for like 3 years to make him a Master Sword, and I was like, okay, but I don't want to make it light up because I'm gonna have to ship this across the country. He's like, no, I don't care. I wasn't expecting it. I just want to hang it on my wall.
There you go. Yeah,
there we go.
No, so
okay,
if it's for display purposes, then it doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's just gonna sit on his wall because
you're taking it to a con though.
Yeah,
you gotta light it up.
I've actually never been to a con.
Oh, you must. Well, not right now. Don't go to a con right now.
Yeah, I don't want to die.
Yeah. No, admittedly, con going is very much what started cosplay for me. Was what was it? So I didn't grow up in Texas. I actually grew up in Michigan, which is really boring.
Geocon.
Sorry?
Geocon, DragonCon.
Well, DragonCon is what I eventually grew into. But when I was a wee baby in Michigan, my very first convention was the Motor City Comic Con, and it was basically one of those one-room conventions in a convention center. But that was it. I was hooked. And when I still lived in the US, I definitely had a period of time in which I was going to, 5 or 6 conventions a year. It was basically where all my money was going, was going to conventions. When I moved to the UK, that slowed down dramatically. There are conventions here, but for whatever reason, they just don't have quite the same vibe to me. I don't know. I have yet to find a convention here that has the same kind of pull that especially my favorite, DragonCon, has. And so DragonCon is basically the one that I actually make the effort to go to, since it's obviously a lot more effort. Since I gotta fly all the way over. And unfortunately, karting cosplay is a lot harder when you have to get on a plane as well.
My first convention was actually NorwestCon in the Pacific Northwest in the mid-90s. And then for about 10 years, I went to a convention every month.
That's the life. That's the life. Do I have any cosplay photos to show on screen? I'm afraid I don't. I know. I'm super boring. I haven't actually done a new costume in ages, but there's a but. I have been meaning to do a bit of a tour of some of my old stuff, but I also am going to be reviving some of my costumes soon. And so my intro video for my YouTube channel will show a little bit of something that I have. And so if you are an anime fan, you will probably recognize it. And I'll just leave it at that. But unfortunately, a lot of my cosplay is old and doesn't fit anymore. So I don't have, it's kind of another life, if that makes sense. And so I don't really have any photos to show of it. I'm building up a new cosplay repertoire. But I do have
before digital cameras were commonplace.
Yeah. No, it doesn't exist. I do have a few things, but they are not things. Like I have a few things that I could show, but they're not things that I've made. Like I have actually a really badass like completely 100% latex Wonder Woman costume that I did not make at all. Like I can take no credit for. So I don't tend to show it off because I didn't make it. But It is cool. It is really cool. It's like retro Wonder Woman, not like new Wonder Woman. But yeah, I feel like I've fallen a little behind in the cosplay, and admit I will be completely honest and say that I totally let all the cosplay kind of go by the wayside when I realized that I wasn't going to be making it to Dragon Con this year because of everything that's going on. And so like that whole, ordinarily I would probably be in full cosplay mode right now, because obviously if you aren't doing it in the last minute up leading up to the con, does it even count? So I would probably usually be like all cosplay right now, but because the con is obviously not happening, thank goodness for that. Actually, I'm very grateful that it actually got officially canceled, because it was a little
See,
it was a little up in the air.
This year's Dragon Con was supposed to be my first con because I was going to be in Atlanta around that time anyway for robotics.
Well, hopefully you can just go next year, and then we can high five, because I am totally going to be at 2021. Like 100%. It's happening.
Unless we're still having these issues.
Don't jinx it.
Hey, Marcel.
So I am choosing to be optimistic at this point. And hopefully, by that point, there will be hopefully a couple of new costumes.
I'm hoping that by January we can at least have tournaments again.
Yeah.
Again, fingers. I'm trying to stay optimistic about.
Well, there are a bunch of virtual cons happening now.
Public PSA: stay home, wear a mask in public.
Yeah,
there we go.
And do virtual conventions where you can cosplay at home.
But no, you're right. And honestly, friendos in the chat, I definitely I owe y'all to see some of my cosplay. The stuff that still fits. I probably owe y'all a fashion show of some sort to actually prove that I'm not just making this all up. Like I actually am a cosplayer.
Put your Wonder Woman costume back on, take a photo, and just tag everybody in the chat on Twitter.
Yeah, and be like, see, it's real. It exists. Though it takes about an hour to put that costume on.
I mean, what are you doing today?
Latex is it's a whole thing. Once you're in it, like you're in it until you die. Like, there's no taking it off again. It's I'm wearing. In fact, I'm still wearing it right now.
We got a question from Marcel.
Yes. What's my favorite cosplay costume? Like that I've already done, or that I want to do? Because that's very different. I suppose I should probably just answer both. What is my favorite one that I've done? I think that my favorite costume that I've done previously was actually the Baroness from G.I. Joe. It was my first ever body sculpt. So I basically did fiberglass armor, just the chest plate. And it was my first time ever doing it. I was fortunate enough to have some friends who were very skilled in kind of that area of costuming, and we basically spent 2 months kind of making this thing. And it started with me being covered in concrete effectively and gypsum cement on my friend's garage floor, and then eventually resulted in a beautiful fiberglass custom to me chest plate. I wore it so much that I broke it.
Wow.
Which is impressive because fiberglass is not easy to break. But I wore it to so many conventions. I wore it so many times that it eventually just started to fall apart a bit. So that was definitely one of my favorites. It was always a lot of fun. And one of my good friends back in Texas had a Cobra Commander. So we would cosplay together and we looked kick-ass. We looked absolutely kick-ass. As far as ones I haven't done yet, I think I mentioned earlier in the chat that my dream is Samus Aran, like full armor Samus Aran, which would definitely benefit from some lights for sure.
And I admit, I don't know what that is.
You don't Metroid. Oh my god.
Oh, see, now I know.
Yes, main character of Metroid.
Seamus.
Sorry, Samus.
Samus.
No, it's definitely Samus.
It's
I will die
totally
in the
Samus.
I'm sure it is. But I haven't actually heard anybody say the name before.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Because I don't think it's ever said in the game. I don't think it's actually said in any of the early games. It might be said in some of the later games. But yeah, basically that incredible orangey red full body armor. That is my dream cosplay, and I will definitely be doing that at some point in time.
I actually have, if you look in the video description, not only links to her channel and her Twitter, but a link to her Linktree as well, which takes you to so much more.
Got lots of stuff. Now, my YouTube channel, as of this exact moment, is empty.
Yep.
Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the first video will be going live.
Really?
It's actually not an introduction video because I'm weird and y'all can just forgive me. So I haven't kind of like a channel introduction video being worked on, but I finished this other video first. It's actually a cleanup and assembly video of Gary from Spongebob Squarepants, which lots of y'all saw on the Edge of Tech show. And I remade it. So the first Gary actually went on to live at a new home, and I needed to have my own Gary because I love Gary. And so I made a second
SpongeBob too.
I haven't done SpongeBob yet. I want to do SpongeBob, but I don't have the right colors. Because
do you have the same color problem I do?
Probably, yeah. If I had a wild guess, I'd say yes. I probably do. I have to have the perfect color for everything. And so I don't have the perfect color for SpongeBob yet. So I haven't done SpongeBob. But I did Gary.
I am working on a Unikitty project, and I needed pink filament. And I didn't have
pink either.
So I didn't have the right pink. And so I ordered
got lots of pink.
But to get free shipping, I had to get another color. So I just got pink and green from 3D Fuel a couple days ago.
Yep.
Ooh.
So that pink is...
don't eat my headphones box.
So I know her camera's washing the color out.
Oh, that's a lovely pink. Admittedly, that would have been the perfect color for Gary's shell. I decided to make Gary's shell rainbow instead because
why not?
I like rainbow and I am a member of the LGBTQ community, so it was relevant to me. So and I also did the first one in June, so it was all kind of rainbow makes sense. Perfect sense. Absolutely.
Marcel just noticed your printer in your Instagram.
Sorry, I don't have it anymore. I don't have the finder. I literally got rid of the finder this actual week.
So I had a FlashForge Creator Pro come back to my house yesterday.
Did it go walkabout?
It belongs to the school that I work for. I bought it for the school 2 years ago. And it lives there. But with COVID, we were like, okay, we're taking the printers home. But I let my assistant coach bring the printer home because he doesn't have one at home. Well, he's going to his in-laws for 14 days. He texted me, hey, do you want the printers so that they're being used? It's like, sure. Okay, I'm bringing stuff to you.
That's a good deal. That's definitely a good deal. You're like, oh, yeah. Let me babysit it for a little while. It's fine.
Yeah, pretty much every, if it's going to be longer than a 4-day break, the printers come home.
Yeah, and there's so much you can print in 4 days.
We just finished building the custom MK3. And so I went from 2 working printers to 4 working printers in the span of 10 minutes. I'm
very envious with my 1 printer right now. That's what I was saying earlier. I need to get a second one now. Now that the finder's gone.
What's your price range.
I keep telling people like 500 pounds, like $600, but I think the reality is I'd probably
Pounds
go
worth
higher.
more than dollars?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 500 pounds is probably like $600 or $700.
Okay.
I feel like realistically, I would probably go higher for the right printer.
Yeah.
But obviously lower is better.
$639.58.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously it changes on a day-to-day basis. So
yeah, but roughly 600.
Yeah.
It's like in an ideal world.
Okay.
I feel like realistically I would go up to $1,000.
Okay.
But obviously less is better. Not to mention the fact that obviously if I get something a little cheaper, then I have a little bit of money for, say, I don't know, upgrades like a Chimera or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know,
and you need that little bit extra to pay for the shipping. And that.
Plus, new printer means more filament.
Yeah, maybe. I still have a fair amount to work
That's
with,
why
but
I
I'm always
own
happy to
4
justify
printers.
more.
Oh,
I own 4 printers to make up for the fact that I got way too much filament.
Yeah.
Okay, that's totally why I got 2 new printers yesterday. Totally.
Yeah.
And that they're going to be at my house for who knows how long, because who knows when we're going back to school.
Yeah, maybe never. So like you got to have lots of stuff to hand just in case.
Oh, well, my dad's N2 Plus, which is in his classroom. I was like, Dad, bring home the rays. And he's like, oh, okay, why? It's like, Dad, giant prints all the time at home.
She printed, what, a 750% Benchy?
Should I go get it?
Sure.
Yes!
I'll be right back.
Yes! Oh my God, I love giant prints. Admittedly, I can't get enough of giant prints. Whenever somebody makes a giant version of something, I'm just like, yeah, no, I want it. Admittedly, I love my tiny bullet bill, but I wish he was a giant bullet bill. I'm sad that he's not a giant bullet bill. But
yeah,
again,
I'm
if he
actually
was,
in the
I
middle
would
of a.
run the room.
I have been in the middle now for 2 weeks of a Ender extender kit, which puts me at 410 by 410 by 500.
And this goes on an Ender 3?
Yep.
Okay, because I know the Ender 5 is bigger.
Yes.
It's one of the ones I was looking. I've
actually
like,
the Ender 5
I have my short
Plus.
list. Yes, I was gonna say yeah. On my short list is the Ender 5 Plus, but it seems like most people are saying to go with the CR10 S Pro over the Ender 5 Plus. So
or a Sick Kit Go, which is a Core XY bigger build volume.
I might have to. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
so put that down.
Oh my God! That
750% Benchy. This is actually just plain blue.
It's so satisfying, though.
I know.
I want to hug it.
I know, it's great. It's literally bigger than my head.
Oh, I love it.
But then, since you like rainbows,
I saw that. That
filament
looks amazing. Oh my God. See, now I've tried a lot of rainbow filament, and I've actually yet to find one that I really genuinely like, and that is amazing. What is it?
This is Hiltech Rainbow.
Okay, that's probably. See, this is the thing. This ends up coming down to the what can I actually get in the UK, and I feel like I've actually bought everything that can be bought in the UK.
Are you on Telegram?
Am I on Telegram?
Yeah,
I am actually. I think I am.
Okay, I will send you my Telegram code and just DM me your address. I'll ship you a care package.
Oh my gosh, you were the nicest human. That's going to be so expensive.
And you can order Hiltech filament on Amazon.co.uk.
Do they have the rainbow?
I do not.
Probably not.
Don't know yet.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, is every time I find a cool rainbow filament, somebody on Instagram or something like that, I immediately go in and Google it, and it's like, yep, it's not available.
No.
Or I can't get it shipped to you guys.
Yeah, Hiltech's in Texas.
Yeah.
And then there's Rosie.
That's amazing. Oh my God. I'm guessing this is printed in individual pieces and assembled.
Yes. It's Protopasta, Armored Unicorn, and random other crap.
I gotta admit, I love the pasta. The pasta is great. I'm so grateful that I can actually get it here.
Not to buy proto pasta just because my Prusa hates it.
Really?
Yeah, my Prusa hates proto pasta, but my other printers, they don't mind it. But it's amazing filament, and I'm not girly in like any sense, but I go nuts for glitter filament. But it's so expensive. And so when I do buy it, I hold on to it because, like, okay, I paid a lot of money for this. I don't want to waste it on something dumb.
Admittedly, the 3D Jake glitter filament, that I posted a photo of the rep board rewinder that I'm printing. That stuff is actually cheap. Now it might not be cheap for y'all because it's, I think,
I looked it up.
UK based thing.
It's not. I think it was almost the same price as the filament to get a roll to Texas.
Yeah, no, that's a problem. That is, it's all about that shipping. But here, it's relatively cheap.
Llama's pointing out to have you contact Filament Frenzy, Tom, because he's actually in the UK and he does a ton of different filament orders.
Uh-huh.
And
of course, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm seeing discount.
Oh yeah. And I am currently not sponsored by anybody, so it's pretty much free reign to talk about whatever.
We're all all good.
And even if I was sponsored, the companies I would accept a sponsorship from understand that I try everything.
Yeah, exclusivity is weird. I mean, I understand that. I guess there are people that are like, yes, you must be exclusive to us, but in this day and age, exclusivity is a weird concept, I guess.
See, I would have issues with that because, like, there's no one printer company or filament company that makes every single little thing I need.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there are definitely ones that I could at least like probably partially commit to, but not completely. Like, I love Filamentum. Filamentum's very easy to get here. They've got a huge range of colors, and the quality is very good. But it doesn't. It's expensive, and they still don't do everything. Like I was mentioning the Color Fab Vario Shore. Like there's no one else that does that. I can only get that from Color Fab. So get that from Color Fab. Also not cheap.
Yeah, I've got 2 samples of it.
The Vario Shore TPU.
Yeah, I've got some samples of it.
It looks very, very cool. I'm very excited.
I'll put it in your box.
Why are you so nice? Why are hugs not allowed?
Also, as speaking of nice, I'm going to take this quick moment to mention that thanks to Devin and a couple other people, we now have the makersguide.club. It's a website where
send up bios.
Where makers can go set up a bio, and they can actually schedule their YouTube events and videos, or anywhere actually, not just YouTube, but Twitch, whatever.
Oh wow!
And fellow makers can go and check out the events calendar and see what's coming up.
That's awesome. I will definitely have to sign up. That sounds super useful.
And we actually have a Telegram group also for makers who are part of that site.
Cool. Gosh, there is still so much that I feel like I am learning about, given that I'm still so relatively new to kind of this community and everything. I'm still constantly kind of like, oh, this thing. I didn't know about this thing. I've learned about this thing 3 seconds ago. But there's so much to take in.
Well, and it's very new. We 2 weeks ago we spun it up.
Okay, so
it's very new, and
it's still in development.
I have not quite told everyone to promote the shit out of it yet because I'm not done with back end stuff. There are still bugs.
So
there's a lot of Devin interaction still.
Yeah, there's still a lot of Devin interaction. Like, I haven't fixed the form to submit an event where you can include a thumbnail.
Oh, oops. Well.
So now, okay, submit your event and then DM me your thumbnail.
And I'm actually working on a scripted way to hit makers who are currently enrolled and get anything that they have scheduled down so we can quickly add it, including the thumbnail.
including the thumbnail.
Yeah. So, random question. Where did you
Yes.
get your shirt and where can I acquire it?
So, good news. This is an American company. It's called
Yay.
Tea Turtle.
Yeah.
And yes, this was I had to get this shirt. I have a good selection of Tea Turtle shirts. They're all quite nerdy and cute and silly. I'm not sponsored or anything by them. I just
You
like
see my
them.
shirt.
Oh my god, yes! Porgs are friends.
Porgs
Actually,
are friends.
I'd considered it was between this shirt and actually a Star Wars shirt earlier.
Okay, well, I got Star Wars
Okay,
covered, so
Tea Turtle are awesome. What is the other? I can't. Cordy.
I guess I should
Cordy
just say
is
be
the other
lucky I'm
one.
dressed.
You look very festive, though.
Zolan, I woke up, 30 minutes ago?
I know.
I'm so sorry. Thank you
Oh,
so much for doing
no, you're
something
good.
early for me.
I woke up. No, it's noon. No, I was up till 7 a.m. Working on technical documentation for Lego technical documentation for my virtual camp.
Oh yeah, she's part of the Lego League things.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's very
no.
cool.
They told us Wednesday morning that yes, you can do in-person camp as long as you do social distancing and masks wearing and all that, because there's only 7 kids.
Oh,
And then-
okay. Yeah, that's doable.
Yeah, there's only 7 kids on the team. And then Wednesday afternoon, the governor was like, oh, hey, how about all school things are not allowed right now?
Yeah.
And so
yes, that makes it difficult.
I can't
So
start Monday. And so I converted my entire hands-on camp to virtual in 2 days. And writing technical documentation is...
Oh, God. That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, I was writing Lego technical documentation till 7 a.m. I'm not actually done. That's just when I fell asleep.
That's way past my bedtime, so I completely understand you falling asleep.
I'm a night owl by nature, and quarantine has made it worse.
She has.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Devin has been on quite a few of the 7 p.m. to 2 or 3 a.m. streams that we do.
Oh gosh.
Which would actually almost be perfect for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they go late enough, then it can be my morning.
Yep.
I get up around 9 a.m.
Wait, what's the time delta between Central and UK
6
time?
hours.
6 hours from it's 5 for the East Coast, so 6 for Central, 8 for West Coast. It's it's significant.
Well, okay, and Dr. Jekyll says that Devin has nothing on Viking. We are actually starting to wonder if Viking ever actually sleeps. So
that's a whole other problem.
Yep.
See, yeah, no, my recent thing is I don't get anything done while we're streaming, but then when we get off stream at 3 a.m., it's like, okay, take a shower real quick, and then I'll keep working for 4 hours.
Sleep is good, people.
Is it though? I don't like sleeping.
Oh God, I love sleeping so much. I wish I didn't like sleeping so much, actually, because I'm often like, I have stuff I want to do. Like, admittedly, the vase idea, I sat down at 10 p.m.
To actually reprint that.
Oh, you need to print the new
You
version.
can do it.
I have.
Okay.
God.
Yeah, she sent me the file. It's just I haven't reprinted it yet.
Oh, it's
definitely
also
make sure you do the final finish.
That reminds me. It's actually.
Okay, I think I actually have the beta then, because my model does not have that band.
Right.
Yeah, the band is super important actually.
It's on Thingiverse, I think. Is that where you put it?
It's everywhere now.
Okay, I think I saw it on Prusa printers. What's it called?
It's there too. It's everywhere. It is. I've called it the weird twisty vase.
All right. Let's go ahead and get a link for it.
So yeah, it is my mini factory. It's on Cults. It's on Thingiverse. It's on Prusa. It's on everything. I'm diversifying.
Oh, and which reminds me, I'm going to link it. I'm not going to play it because, unfortunately, I don't want to get a copy. I don't want to get a copyright strike. But it was on Twitter this morning. There is a very nice time lapse of one of them being.
Yes, Andrew did an amazing time lapse of it. It's so beautiful. I love it. Admittedly, who doesn't like a good off the lapse? Like they're very sexy time lapses. It's in my in my to-do list is to get mine set up because I finally got my Pi, and I finally got pretty much all the physical things that I need for it. Now it's just a matter
of tuning, because the reason why I haven't done time lapses yet is I keep getting little tiny blobs when it moves away to take the picture and moves back.
Oh yeah, I can see where there is a little bit of a additional tuning necessary. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, very cool. That is very nice. Thank you.
So we are at the 1 hour mark now, which means the official stream is technically over. but we can keep going if you want. I leave that up to you.
What do y'all think?
But eventually, I will. If we're going to keep going, I'm probably going to toss the link out so others can join.
I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. I definitely can go for a little bit longer before I need to eat dinner, because of course it's dinner time here.
Food is a good thing.
I like food. That's another thing I like. Sleeping, eating, big fans. I like these things. I am not one of those people who's like, oh yeah, no food, take it or leave it. No, I like food. I like food a lot.
Okay,
so
I've tossed
it on sleep though.
I tossed the StreamYard URL out in case anybody else wants to join. But so as they will, I'll announce them before I bring them in.
I'm also very, very up for any sort of Q&A that anyone wants to throw at me. I will do my best. I can't guarantee I'll answer everything, because if you ask a rude question, then I'll mock you mercilessly instead of answering. It's funny being a woman on the internet. It's almost like it comes with a warning tag.
You should.
And I admit that's part of the reason why I brought Devin in, is to not just be male and female, because I know that can make some people uncomfortable, especially considering you don't really know me. You have no clue what I'm going to ask or do.
This is true. You've been nothing but lovely towards me, though, in all of our interactions. So I felt pretty okay with it. I also can hold my own pretty well.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
If you are a woman on the internet and you're not in your hobby or job is STEM, if you can't hold your own in the beginning, you quickly learn how to, because the internet is full of assholes.
Or you give up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You either are tough enough to play with the boys, or you give up.
This is very, very true. I have been female on the internet for a very long time, so I am pretty good at it.
We have somebody who's actually been fawning over you a little bit in the Telegram. so here's Marcel from Canada.
Hey, hi Marcel.
And his little
hello. Oh, may I just say,
my FlashForge Finder for quite a while, about 3 months steady. So I'm always interested to see people who've had one before and their experiences and stuff.
I had mine for 2 years before I lost the plot.
2 years. Holy jeez.
It honestly, it gave me many, many, many good hours. I definitely, I can't knock it. I used it well. I used it very well. I abused it a bit.
Too. Pretty blown out right now.
What do we got here?
Sunlight in my area, but I put in a bunch of different little cool things for people.
Nice.
Misa.
Meeseeks.
Yep, Meeseeks.
And you got a lot of R2D2 going on too.
Yeah,
I had to get super close to the screen to see it, like I'm an old man.
Started in May 1st, and that thing has been constantly printing since then.
Is it printing right now?
Yeah, it's printing the center leg. So right now the outside legs are done.
Oh wow! Look at that. That's looking amazing.
It's not the best quality for the printer, but it's actually not bad, and everything fits together really nicely.
I like your color choice.
Omni wheels and stuff like that, so everything rolls independently.
Are you using the Mr. Batterley's file?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, so am I. But I haven't decided my color scheme yet. If I'm going to go traditional or something cool.
My vote is something cool. Like traditional is nice and all, but I think with R2D2 especially, like there's a lot of room for go get crazy with it. Do something weird.
as
That's
a
what the
huge
R9.
Star Wars fan, it's like traditional blue and white. But at the same time, like, what if I did blue and hot pink?
Actually, I know somebody who's printing a hot pink with what was the accent color again? A red glitter.
Ooh.
Ooh. See,
that's
if I
nice.
can find
That's spicy.
so if I do like a Riker blue with glitter pink filament, it looks so girly, but nobody's done it before.
I say you gotta get out there.
I
and
think
do
you
the
just
most
made my mind
ridiculous
up.
colors.
I've
you know?
literally been like debating what color to make R2 for like a month.
I like the colors you did, Marcel. They look very
Thank you.
nice. That is
Yeah.
a very good color combination.
The bronze
But
actually
I'm very pro like weird colored. Like I know I have seen some wild colored Daleks in my day.
Yes.
And I love seeing the weird ones. Like the standard ones, they're nice, but it's like you see the weird ones and you're like,
And
That's
it's
kind of why I picked the R9.
and
Yeah.
now that the series has been going again, it's been nice to have them roll in some newer colors for the dialects and stuff.
That's right.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's absolutely. So same with R2. I think that's good.
Hey, Jerry.
Oh,
Hey guys, how you doing? Geeky Faye, nice to meet you.
it's
Deb,
very nice to meet you.
This is the micro droid. This is like a day print. I just put the servos inside for his legs and then TPU wheels for it. I added my own
Very
antenna.
cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Guys, you want a cool prints. Oh, see, that's the good stuff right
Black
there.
Panther I'm working on.
Wow.
So
that's-
okay, so what did you print that on? Let's start with that.
My Hypercube. I have a Hiltech Hypercube. It's 400 by 400 by 500 build volume.
That's big. That's a big
You know,
boy.
A lot of work and putting it together. You know, building anything from scratch takes a minute, but that's why I started building it, to have something to work on.
Right.
You know,
See, that's where that's usually where I'm like, I don't know about that. Like I know that it seems like all the best printers are ones that you basically kind of make from scratch yourself, and I'm not
Sadly.
sure I'm there.
yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but most women are smarter than most men in the world, so you wouldn't have a problem building this as a side project or something similar.
I
And
need more time.
lot
More
of fun.
time in the day.
That's the problem. It's the time.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I want to do everything. I want to do so many things. This is why I wish I didn't like to sleep. If I didn't need sleep, I'd get so much more done.
This is the problem with my YouTube channel is that I am in the middle of like 18 different projects, but you combine severe ADHD plus always busy and
That's
easily
a big mood.
distracted, and it's like, oh, editing that video? What?
What's that?
I want to do everything. Thanks to Marcel and a couple others and Greg, who I had on my stream this week earlier. I've now gotten into drones.
cool.
You're done for. You're done.
And I always
Tired from
wanted,
racing, and now I want to get back into it.
and I always wanted to get a real controller anyways, because if I was to print something like an R2D2, I want to be able to control it.
I mean, I feel like that's half the fun, driving it around.
And now we have
Oh.
Jeff, who I don't think I've ever had on one of my streams before.
Hey,
Hey,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Hello.
Welcome. I'm admittedly, I'm still admiring the crazy setup.
Oh, what do we
Giant
got here?
Yoshi.
Nice.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
I love Yoshi.
Oh,
That's a one print?
No.
Okay, good. Holy jeez. Cool.
Oh.
okay.
That's smart.
600% of the file size.
Can you link to
increasing
that
it
in the chat?
600%.
Oh, that's
Printing
beautiful.
it on
I love Yoshi.
CR10.
Wow.
Yoshi is my favorite.
How heavy is his nose, though?
He's very good. He's very good.
Did that
I-
nose print with supports?
I thought I had a big nose. That's a huge nose.
I'm really enjoying like seeing everyone's printers behind them. Like it's one of my favorite pastimes when I'm in a stream. I like seeing kind of peeping on people's printers.
So that's what the black put in for the eye.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you going to do the full, like, is there a body as well?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that was the
He's going to be about 27 inches tall.
Wow.
That's gonna be awesome. I love big prints. I love big prints, and I cannot lie.
I admit I have been editing out the "so size does matter" jokes.
Yeah, no, I know. I set them up. I really do. I can't help it. Like it's.
Oh, they routinely call me a size queen because I like big prints.
Yep.
I think it's the one time it's okay.
Jeff, Devin was actually asking if you could get us the link to that, or if it's something you've designed.
I did not design it. It's on Thingiverse. Let me see if I can find that real quick. If you type in Yoshi, it's like a Yoshi multi-color print or something like that. My internet is terrible.
It's all good.
Microtech. It's force of habit.
Oh, this is a very big question, isn't it? What prompted me to move to the UK? I was gonna say the short answer is adventure. The slightly longer answer is I fell in love with London on a visit when I was like a teenager, and I said to myself that if the opportunity ever presented itself, I would come. And it did. So I came. That's pretty much that's pretty much it. Like, and that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary. In fact, July 4th.
But earlier, I can. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh yeah. Totally accidental too.
I almost mentioned it earlier, and as I could tell you're actually from the Midwest because you've used y'all a couple times.
Just a little bit.
I blame Texas for that.
Y'all is a very Texas thing that kind of spreads.
Yeah.
But I do have the Midwestern accent. Like there's no denying it. I sound like I'm from the Midwest. So it's stuck. It's stuck. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that probably is the URL. That looks similar.
You found the Yoshi.
Yeah, I put it in private chat because I was trying to confirm with Jeff if that's the right one.
Awesome.
Too many windows.
Geeky Faye, my hobby room used to be a living room in my house. The largest room in my house is my hobby room.
And now the living room is somewhere else entirely.
Well, there's like 2 living rooms in my house that are side by side. I took the bigger of the 2 rooms and made a hobby room out of it.
Oh, I'm so envious.
If you want, I can take my camera and I'll pan it around and show you what the room looks like.
Yeah, go on, then give us a tour.
Take us for a tour.
Oh wow.
Okay, there's the kitchen.
Wow. Oh my God, look at all the masks and
You need a
giant
shelf
prints.
for just your prints. Wow.
Wow. Oh my God.
Joker.
See, I do miss the space of living in the US.
And then I got a shelf down below there. It's 8 foot long and has tons and tons of unpainted models on it.
Wow. Holy.
Let me go around the other side here.
This is very impressive.
Now I got a resin printer down there on the end. And my CR10 is in an enclosure right there whenever I want to print an ABS.
Nice.
And I got the CR10 there.
Dang. All right, so you like CR10s. That's good to know.
Yep. Ender 3 CR10s. Anyway.
This is impressive. This is a very impressive setup. I see. I've been asked if the Brits were friendly to me when I moved to the UK. You know what? It's actually quite funny. I feel like most English people, and I will be specific and say English because the Scots, the Welsh, and the Irish are all, this is never an issue with, but for the English, they either love me or they can't stand me. And I think it's because I'm outspoken and not super quiet, and I'm not like censoring myself constantly. But it's funny because a lot of people I meet, they love it. It's a breath of fresh air. So, see, yeah, very, very, very friendly Brits, David says. But you know what? Most of my experiences have been very positive. For the most part, everyone has been really nice to me. I was very afraid when I first moved here that my very obvious American-ness would work against me, but it's actually been pretty fine. Though people like to occasionally make fun of my pronunciation of things like aluminum.
Yeah.
Obviously aluminium over here. So,
Yeah.
so I get
No, it's
the piss taken out of me, as they like to say.
Aluminum everywhere except for when a British man says it.
Yeah,
And
thank
then
you
it's
for saying aluminum.
Yep. No, so I get occasional ribbing, but otherwise
Wait,
it's been
Marcel,
perfectly
what is
fine.
on your coffee cup?
Ah,
Hang on. There we go.
there
Man,
we go.
I saw the caution tape and was intrigued.
Like what is going on there? What is
Got this cup a
happening here?
long time ago.
I love how y'all are having coffee because it's still early enough there, and I'm
11
like,
a.m. here.
yeah, if I had coffee, I'd be in trouble.
I like to move it.
I do admittedly appreciate
Nice.
silly mugs about as much as I appreciate silly t-shirts.
It's actually my wife's mug. I need to get it back to her. I was using it as a test for object recognition.
You know, I was gonna make coffee, but then I woke up and I saw Zolan's text and I was like, I should just grab a Mountain Dew so that I can speak coherently because I didn't want to wait 5 minutes for coffee.
Oh gosh, Mountain Dew. Yes, that is absolutely a thing for instant caffeine.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mountain Dew will wake you up. Coffee does nothing. I've drank 2
Right.
pots a day forever and it does nothing.
You gotta just inject it right in your veins. You gotta
Yeah.
get the coffee right in there.
Oh, the Monster Energy drinks, the orange flavor, they're really good. They'll wake you up.
My coffee happened to have
They'll wake you up real quick.
I
Yeah.
try not to drink energy drinks unless I'm at a tournament.
Hang on. What was that, Jeff?
I
Your
just
internet
said
cut
that
out.
my coffee had Irish cream in it.
Yep.
Ooh.
Mine had Kraken coffee rum.
I like
You guys,
my coffee like
It's
I
still
like my
morning.
women.
what are you doing? Guys, I guess it is Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday.
It is Saturday.
You can.
I'm
you can-
retired, so every day is Saturday.
Ah, that's the life. That's the good stuff. That's the good thing.
Yeah, when I first got into 3D printing, I wanted to print some statues. And a friend of mine in the UK, Kevin Sharp, was printing a lot of models by Sanix. It's like, well, that's cool. So I had to buy that, and I had to buy that, and I had to buy that, and ran up the credit cards. And now I have what you see. It's like, oh my God. If I quit printing today, I could paint for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you've got a bit of a like pile of like in your to paint pile. It's
Stuff everywhere.
lots of stuff, you know. But this is I think the tricky thing with 3D printing is it's a little bit like tattoos in that you get one and then you realize you need another one and another one. Ooh, what's that?
Masks.
Oh, cool.
I found
Wow.
I found the Tree of Life and replaced the standard
I want it.
gasket is what they call it with that and also this
Oh,
cool.
how pretty.
an atom.
That's very
So-
cool.
I want it. A tree of life.
That's gorgeous. That's very,
And
very
his
nice.
internet cut out
Awesome.
again.
And we all need
Oh.
Tree of Life these days.
Right, I'll be right back.
Oh, that's a good Doom.
Whoa.
Dr. Doom.
Hang on.
Oh wow.
Wow. See, I feel like a bit of a painting newbie now. I've been painting my first ever models quite recently. I'm finally almost done with Satsuki. But Uruko was the first one I'd done, and it was very, very interesting experience. It's fun, but a lot of work.
I bet.
Gosh, I'm still kind of like reeling a little bit from how long it took to paint that. Like,
The only thing I have currently painted that my wife did is the pump. It's actually my 7th print, I think.
oh,
Nice.
look at that!
That's
That's
awesome.
fantastic. That's lovely. It's
The painting
terrifying.
morning.
It's good.
And I did a filament swap to do the top.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I am nowhere near the actual MMU point. I'm still very much in I will print this in separate pieces and then I will clean it up and assemble it myself because that is what I have to work with. So there is something to be said for that.
They actually like start painting R2D2. I just kind of probably just leave it the way it is. A lot of people like
Doesn't look like it needs much.
I'm like, nah, I just want to leave it looking like a 3D print. I don't want it to be like my second one. Maybe I'll probably do like really fancy and stuff. But the first one, it's a Flash Forge Finder. You can only do so much.
Yeah, this is definitely true. But I think there's something.
I'm going to jump out, guys, in case somebody else wants to jump in. It was nice meeting everybody. So
Take care, Jerry.
Very nice meeting you.
Thank you,
Jerry.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Now, I definitely think there's something to be said for the leaving it looking like a print. If I'm gonna do something for like where I want it to look super realistic or something like that, then yeah, I will plan that from the beginning. Yeah. That is a really awesome paint job, by the way, Chris. Like I've been appreciating your icon every time it's popped up, and it's very well done, especially by a 17-year-old. Like, goddamn, that's very good work. But yeah, sometimes it's nice to like with the 3D printed Gary. I didn't want to paint that. I wanted to print that in the colors that it would be, and then have it have that look, like, because it does look different when it's painted.
That's actually why I got the rep box here, and I have a palette, and I'm still learning how to use it.
I thought I saw a rep box behind you.
Yep, my first one, and then I've got a palette 2S Pro.
How dare you, sir? How dare you have such a cool toy?
And my prints still suck.
I mean, if you don't want it, I'm sure many of us will take it off.
No, I'll figure it out. It's a fusing issue I've got to figure out.
This is admittedly the thing that I feel like I see whenever I see people doing like multi-material printing, whether it's with the Prusa MMU or with the palette, that it has a steep learning curve. And so that's part of the reason why I haven't ventured into it yet, because I know that it's going to take time and a lot of effort before I get prints that I'm happy with. And if your printer is not,
and if your printer is not printing perfect to begin with, it's going to take even longer.
Yep. Absolutely that. Honestly, I'm just happy with my printer printing nice stuff without me having to do have a bunch of effort put into it. So like, I'm just kind of going to enjoy that for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to tinker. That's my issue. So I have 5 printers, including the resin, but only 2 of them are currently running. The rest of them are in different states of build.
Disrepair.
Yep.
I mean, you're welcome to come over and tinker whenever my stuff breaks, because I do not like tinkering.
Yeah, if my wife and I could afford it, I would probably do it, because we have yet to leave country besides Canada.
Oh, you must. Well, again, caveat, not right now.
Right.
Traveling is wonderful.
The problem with the UK is my wife uses a service dog.
Oh, okay.
And
why is that a problem
limited.
here?
You have to go through a certification process, and since she doesn't use a standard breed, it gets even more difficult.
I was gonna say, I know I've seen service dogs here, like they definitely exist here, but I can see where when you're bringing one over, that could become an issue. Oh, that's a bummer.
And then there's the quarantine aspect. You okay over there, Devin?
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, I dropped the print.
Obviously, yeah. Don't go traveling right now. Inadvisable, but at some point in the future. Traveling is admittedly one of my many loves. I think I've been to 24 countries so far in my relatively short life, and that will be hopefully going up to 25 next year.
When I had to do a background check for a requirement as one of my jobs I've done in the past, I forgot to put, and it asked me if I was friends with any foreign nationals or if I've done any foreign travel. I forgot to list Canada because it didn't dawn on me that Canada is actually a different country. I have been to.
That's fair. That's fair.
I used to go to Canada once every 2 weeks.
Especially if you live up by the border. Like honestly, I could drive to Canada where I grew up. Like you could just get in a car, and it was like a 3-hour drive to get to Toronto. Like it wasn't even that far. If you're close, it just seems like it's
25 years in the greater Seattle area.
So Vancouver is just right over there,
That's
Yep.
where I'm at.
which is
And-
awesome. I love Vancouver.
And my wife grew up in Grand Marais, Minnesota, which is just below Thunder Bay.
Yeah, Canada's just right there. It's just there. It's like sort of America, right?
Oh.
I mean, it's totally not.
Just
Admittedly.
America's hats.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. I love Canada, and I love going to Canada, and I find that I believe the way I may have put it, and I apologize to all the Americans, was Canada had all of the things that I missed about the U.S. without any of the things that I didn't.
It's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of things about America suck right now.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, one of those things that suck is another one of my hobbies. So
I'm like sitting here now going, what is he talking about? It could... Okay. We got
one of the things Canada doesn't have, or isn't easy to have,
There you go.
Yeah, better things.
like healthcare.
Like poutine.
Healthcare, poutine, yes.
Yeah. All about the poutine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good stuff.
We have a
Like-
poutine
I
right
want
here
to
that does
try
all
that.
flavors of meat, whatever you want on it. So it's like a smorgasbord of whatever you want to add to your poutine. Types of
And
gravy.
no, I am not from Buffalo/Syracuse.
Michigan.
That's very specific. It is funny though, because I often joke that that I am a New Yorker by blood, because that's where my parents are from. So I grew up in Michigan, but my parents are from New York. And I usually follow this up with some sort of joke about how all American Jews are from New York originally, which I am. And so, like I say, yes, I'm sort of a New Yorker, but I'm not. I'm from Michigan. I grew up in Michigan. I left Michigan very happily at 18 and pretty much never turned back. But I'm not actually from New York. I just wish I was.
Pretty close.
Out. What was that?
Hey, I'm gonna jump out of here.
Okay, Jeff.
Take care,
It was
Jeff.
nice to meet you.
Yoshi guy. Hey, likewise.
Thanks for showing off Yoshi. Is it stroopwafels? Yeah, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. Gosh, you are making me hungry. With that being said,
Yep.
I should probably start to wrap things up. But
Yep.
before I do, I wanted to give people one last opportunity to pepper me with your questions before I disappear forever. Yes, Land of the Poutine, yes. Admittedly, I was supposed to be going to Montreal next month to visit a friend. I'm obviously not now, but I am mourning the loss of the poutine. And I'm very sad about that.
So we are close enough to one hour and 30. So, and I don't see any other actual questions at this time. Thank you very much for joining us, and of course, thank you to Marcel and Devin, and as always, everybody in chat, because without people watching, there's no point.
What are we doing? What are we even doing
Exactly.
at that point?
So you all have a good Saturday, and I am sure I think actually Tim is already trying
Tim's
to
already
spin up.
streaming.
So let me go ahead and
Switcheroo.
let me grab his URL.
I
So-
put you on my Instagram, Geeky. Hopefully, see more of your prints and stuff like that in the future.
Don't you worry. I am always busy.
So, is there anything in particular you miss from the States or Texas or anything?
Big houses
Unfortunately,
and big washing machines.
I
big
unfortunately
washers, dryers.
cannot send you a washing machine or a house.
No, that's okay.
I mean, in theory, I could mail you a washer, but no.
No, definitely. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work over here on our power. So
Fair
it's
enough.
useless. What do I miss from Texas? Admittedly, I miss Mexican food. But that's another thing that's hard to mail. So
It's hard to mail.
do not worry about it at all. I so appreciate you asking though. Like it is funny. There's definitely certain things that I miss about the US. It's not a lot, but there's usually, again, admittedly, the big washer and dryer is always like in my top 5 things that I miss.
Cheese curds.
I have a tiny combined washer dryer that only sort of dries So I do miss the big washer dryers.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast now. Everybody take care, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
See y'all again.